Welcome to Math 109, College Trigonometry. In this lesson, we're going to talk about degree measure and then complementary and supplementary angles. So we'll start with the fact that at some point we decided we wanted to be able to discuss the measure of an angle. So I've drawn a right angle here. Now, the most primitive way that we could determine the measure of that angle would be to just look at it in terms of revolutions. So if I start from the x-axis, then go up, I go a quarter of the way around to get there. So that's one way we could measure it, as 0.25 revolutions. But we, in mathematics, don't want to be dealing with just revolutions all the time, so we want to subdivide that a little bit more. So we came up with the idea of creating a degrees. We have 1 degree, 360 360 degrees is equal to 1 revolution. And normally we will denote degrees by putting the degree sign in there. And that's pretty useful for a lot of things. So a quarter of a revolution here is going to be the 90 degrees that we're a little bit more familiar with as the measure of a right angle. But suppose we had some other angle, like that. Now, I didn't go out and measure this angle, I just drew it here, so it might come out that's an exact number of degrees. But if it doesn't, we can subdivide a degree. We're going to divide it into minutes. The definition of that is 60 minutes is equal to 1 degree. And the notation for that is we will put an apostrophe. So 60 single apostrophe indicates a minute. And we get 1 degree out of that. We can further subdivide into seconds. We get 60 seconds in 1 minute. So if we want to extend that further, there's 3,600 seconds in 1 degree. So now continuing with this idea with the degree measure, we're going to talk about complementary and supplementary angles. So in complementary angles, we first want A and B to be positive. We're not going to talk about the complement of negative 12 degrees. And then A plus B add to 90 degrees. So for example, 37 and 53 would add to be 90. So those would be complementary angles. On the same vein, supplementary angles, again, we want both A and B to be positive. And this time, A plus B will equal 180 degrees. So putting that in an example, I'm going to tell you that we have 2 angles, one of which is at 10x plus 7 degrees, and the other one is at 7x plus 3 degrees. And we want them to be supplementary, which I will just abbreviate SUPP. So what this means is that those two angles, 10x plus 7 and 7x plus 3, I will leave the degree signs out when we do the computation, have to equal 180. So I do some simplification here. I get 17x plus 10 is equal to 180. Subtracting 10 from both sides gives me 17x is equal to 170. Then I'm dividing both sides by 17. I get that x equals 10. Now a big caution here is that you cannot just stop here and say the answer is x equals 10. That's not what the question was asking for. The question asked for what the angles are. So I can do 10x plus 7 is equal to 10 times 10 plus 7. So that's 107. And I can also say that 7x plus 3 is equal to 7 times 10 plus 3, which is equal to 73. So our angles are 107 degrees and 73 degrees. So that will allow you to get started on some of the work for the study plan. In my next video, we're going to talk about some more properties of angles.